This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Kane is in the building.
Yeah! Alright, the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun up? Just remember when it comes up, the show goes on.
Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ is brought to you by Burger King, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, KFC, Muffler World, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's Island Games, and Prince Masters.
Have you ever had the feeling that you was being had? Don't that shit that make you mad? They treat you like a slave, put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be like,
you've got it locked and loaded to the Tuesday, August 25th edition of Talking Heads. Naughty and MJ, your company right up until 6 p.m. on this Tuesday edition. Happy Tuesday, everybody. MJ, what's good?
I'm good. How are you?
We are all good. We got lots to talk about today, boy. We got to open up the lines in a little bit. We got several issues we need to talk about. And of course, in the 5 o'clock, we'll go over a little bit and we'll talk some sports. We have a special guest too, the F&M Assistant Treasurer, Mr. Carlisle. Bethel will be here in short order. And we're going to be talking BPL.
Oh, he's here.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Carlisle.
Oh, hey, how are you?
We're good.
Obviously, Carlisle, welcome to the show. So you made some comments recently regarding BPL.
Yeah.
And you went to the public domain. You know, you had a lot to say on it. And I said, let me get you on it and talk to you about BPL, because after Papa's comments the other day, we got to have you on for a separate show to figure out what's going on with all of that.
you know the F&M will figure it out. I think as with any organization, it goes through periods of restructuring and figuring out what went wrong and figuring out the best way forward. I think the F&M will figure it out, man.
I wish BPL could figure it out.
Yeah, that's the thing. And you know, man, BPL's been an issue for as long as for my short life.
I mean, as a younger professional, I mean, what's your take? Expound on what you put on social media and whatnot. Let us know exactly.
I think when I talk to young people versus when I talk to older individuals, I find that some of the older generations like, oh, BPL's always been an issue, right? I was like, oh, there's always been an issue. But I find that younger people are like, yeah, it's always been an issue, but that doesn't excuse the government from providing a solution or a path forward. And so it's a matter of, well, you applied for a job and you got the job. Now you have to do the things necessary in that job. And one of those is providing stable, affordable, accessible energy. And the interesting thing about it, Naughty, is that BPL was on a path to doing those things.
But then again, you know, we've seen a lot of the dreaded stop, review, and cancel. And the most recent, the hedge fund. I mean, we have to look at the bigger picture sometimes. If the idea is working, regardless who put it there, who's going to benefit Bahamians long-term, all Bahamians long-term, regardless of party affiliation, let it ride.
Yeah, exactly. And I find a lot of times people ask, well, they say, well, what would the F&M do differently, right? And I think before I always get into those conversations, I try to give it an appreciation, understanding for what exactly is happening. So when you look at energy in this country and the ability for us as Bahamians to use energy, it's broken up into basically three parts, right? The first part is the generation of energy. How do we make it? How do we generate it? Then it's the distribution and the transmission of it, which is once it's made, it's available. How do we get it from the power station to your house, to your home, where you could plug in your laptop, plug in your BYD? And the third is the customer facing side of things, which is the administrative side, the giving out the bills. That side is work perfect. That side don't ever have issues.
Pretty much.
Them bills is be on time.
Pretty
right?
much on point there.
Right? So when in the last administration, the government realized that with the addition of Baha-Mar, with the addition of the introduction of the new EV mandates and so forth, the government realized that they had to tackle the generation of power and the transmission of power, right? It had to be upgraded and maintained with the development in the country. And so they broke it up into phases. The first phase was, well, we have to be able to generate enough power. And so what the government did, I don't know if many people remember, but like around COVID or so, when all the roads were shut down, everything was kind of not as busy, they brought in these massive Wärtsilä generators, which took our generation capacity up to the level where it needed to be to meet the demand. The next phase was, okay, well, now that's done, how do we build out the transmission and distribution network to make sure that the energy which was being created can be delivered to your homes? Another aspect of it was there's a big demand for solar energy and renewable energy, and this idea of independent power producers, IPPs, what they refer to them as, being able to generate power from solar panels on your home and kind of sell it back to the grid, sell it back to BPL for them to now use, right? Those things require for the transmission and distribution network to be upgraded and to be brought to the 21st century up to modern day standards. And so we had the election. So the FNM had upgraded the BPL, the power generation. We had the election. The PLP won. It was now time to upgrade the grid, the transmission and distribution grid. Their solution to that was Bahamas Grid Company, right? They put forward, they said, listen, the only way to do this is it's a massive investment, and the only way to do this is to have private investment into the company where they could now bring in the initial capital needed, and then they could make a return from that via the delivery, the transmission and distribution of energy. In theory, that makes sense, right? But there were a number of places where they quite frankly dropped the ball, right? The first one where I personally have an issue with was the way in which they decided to fund this new company, Bahamas Grid Company. It was a closed funding opportunity in that only select individuals were able to buy ownership into this company. If you compare it to what was done with the Arak Port development, which was done under Hubert Ingram, if you compare it to the Nassau Port, to the Nassau Cruise Port, which was done under Hubert Minnis, both of those opportunities were made open to the entire Bahamas to invest in. They provided salary deductions for public servants to invest in if they wanted to, which gave them ownership into this economic opportunity, which made prosperity available to the average person. When you compare that in contrast to what was done with Bahamas Grid Company, which will make millions and millions of dollars into the future. Right now, I think they're being paid $8 million a month by BPL.
Yep, that's what's being reported. Mm-hmm.
Right. That was reserved for a select group of individuals. Who are the individuals? I don't know. I don't think anyone knows outside of those who are in the know, because it was a closed deal. And the details of the deal were, to this day, I don't believe, fully made public.
Yeah, I mean, we had some documents, but it's a lot.
Right,
3,000 document dump. Maybe it's in there. I can't say it's not in there. Maybe it is. I don't know.
It reeks of the good old boy network of the family, friends, lovers,
there you go.
and cronies.
So
there you go.
The price point, the $50,000. You think that was
completely out of reach? Completely out of reach. Completely out of reach.
Okay.
Completely out of reach.
Okay.
And I would argue that was done by design. They didn't want the average person to be involved in this. Why? Because it means I got to share the benefits, right? I got to share the rewards from this nice contract, right? From this nice connection that the government has given us, right?
Well, so what if let's just play devil's advocate, Carla. What if the motivating factor was time, right? So you get some very, money bagged investors that can put out the $50,000, and the process can go much quicker than involving, I mean, I don't agree with it, but that involving thousands upon thousands of Bahamians and having them partake. What if they say, well, we were trying to do this really quickly, so we settle on that number. Yes, it's fewer institutional investors, but it made the process go quicker and smoother. What do you say to that?
That's a fair potential argument. But whenever these deals happen, there's sometimes what they bake in what they call tranches, which is maybe the first set of money that comes in is of an institutional level. And then the second tranche is another investment opportunity, which is made for retail investors. Yeah. And while the institutional tranche is for the things that need to be done right now to get the ball rolling, while that's happening, they're also laying the foundation for the institutional retail investors, right?
Right.
Put the company on BISX, right? Allow it to be publicly traded. Allow it to and force it to give proper reporting, where there has to be financial statements that are delivered every quarter, where you report to a public shareholder, a public shareholding, and so all of those things add to better operations.
Let me ask you this, because you said something important there. I know that we do own 40% of BGC reportedly, right? I don't know if the deal is.
When you say we, clarify that.
Well, because BPL owns, I guess, 40% of BGC.
Right, there we go.
And then we believe we own BPL. I mean, I don't know,
Right.
So the reporting, what kind of, should we be expecting reporting still out of BGC, even though?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, we should. Okay. And so that was how they structured it, right? And in that structuring, they said, okay, well, when we do that, we have to get the expertise to manage this. We need the expertise to manage this, and then in comes this guy called Pike with his company Pike Electric.
Right.
And so they come in as the expertise in the deal,
which we were told is very important, right? Because otherwise, why couldn't BPL do it, right?
You got it. Okay. And so they then give this new company, Bahamas Grid Company, which is in conjunction with Island Grid, which is the company that's used by Pike to operate here in the Bahamas. And they come together to make Bahamas Grid Company, which is supposed to revolutionize, fix, upgrade, develop the transmission and distribution network. That was the PLP's solution. They were in the driver's seat, and that was the solution that they put to the people. Right? Fine. That deal had about a 25-year duration, which that partnership with Pike via the company was supposed to work together for 25 years to do this. Within 2 years, Pike is pulling out. The deal between the two fall apart. Bahamas Grid Company then finds local Bahamians to put in place of Pike, and they do it under the theme of Bahamianization.
Right, PGC.
Right. Now the question was, if Bahamianization was the goal, why was it not done from the jump? The next thing was, well, why did the deal fall apart? Some people would say, well, it was the shooting by the bar out west, where the Pike employee was shot and all their staff left.
We've heard speculation on that. The minister, for her part, said that they had completed the foundational phase and that they were done.
Yes, they said 95% done, right? And so the American workers left, but Pike is a multinational company, right? They operate all throughout Latin America, and so they brought in Latin Americans to finish up the rest. But what happened was interesting was that it was not just the workers that left, but it was the actual ownership of and the owners in the deal, the principals of the deal, that pulled out. The deal fell apart at the highest level. Now I understand that there was that the government was not holding its side of the bargain when it came to payment schedules, when it came to transparency and dealing with the individuals. And quite frankly, the principals got tired of dealing with the shenanigans of the Progressive Liberal Party. And so
we had not heard that before. That raises an interesting point, though, because the recent reporting that we're getting is that maybe this deal hasn't been fully consummated. I mean, what do you understand is happening? We haven't transferred the assets yet. What exactly is happening?
Exactly, right, exactly. It's a lot of dangling of carrots and dangling of promises, and they just got tired. They said, to hell with this all. I don't got to do this, and they left. It's not good business. It's not good partnership practices that's happening, and so we've seen this play out before with the PLP. If you look back at Baha Mar, right? We have a current sitting minister that was at the time jockeying for his own family and friends to get contracts, and all these things were stalling the progress of Baha Mar. The F&M had to come in and open it up. And it's the same thing. It's a very much like skimming off the top. It's very much like scratch my back, or this get hold up, or this doesn't get transferred. And so what you see is delay until you pay. And as a result, it fell apart.
I understand. I mean, I have not confirmed this, but this is just something that we're hearing, which is that maybe perhaps some of the assets themselves are encumbered and cannot be easily transferred. I mean, have you heard anything about that? We know BPL owes.
See, this is the problem. This is the problem.
Well, I know two assets that cannot be transferred. Those two generators that was in that trailer that flipped over today.
Right? But this is the problem, right? And this is the problem when you're not honest, upfront, and transparent. You leave room for speculation. You leave room for questions. Yeah. No one knows what's happening. And so now what happened? This interesting part. Everyone's beating up on BPL, but BPL is not the ones to blame for what's happening to us. The responsibility for the grid, all those transformers is blowing up, and they digging in the pipe in the ground, and they busting the water and sewage pipe. All that is Bahamas Grid Company. That's their job. They've transferred it.
The Prime Minister did seem to indicate in his national address that, you know, this transmission and distribution should be 100% Bahamas Grid Company. But I mean, it takes me back again. If the relationship isn't fully consummated, I mean, what are we doing?
See this, and so this here is why you have this level of complexity that was never there before. Right. So now enters the overtime, because Bahamas Grid Company no longer has the expertise to do what they're being paid $8 million a month to do. So what do? They go back to BPL to get their guys, their staff, to come and do the work that's needed, because they live in the communities, right? They see the lights are off, and so they want to help. So in comes in those same union workers for BPL who are now being asked to do the work of BGC. And as a result, they're charging overtime, the same overtime that the government is approving.
And Carlisle, for the record, weren't those the same workers that were recruited by Bahamas Grid Company and they refused the furlough and to go over?
Same ones. And so the PLP has added in this new entity, Bahamas Grid Company, that is adding an entirely new level of confusion and chaos in the system that we have never experienced before. And as a result, we are experiencing the highest rate of blackouts, the longest duration of blackouts, the most inefficient system that this country has ever experienced in recent memory. It's all because it's added confusion by the PLP that's causing all of this.
And, you know, there's some great reporting in the Nassau Guardian today that gives us some idea about some of the, just this little snapshot of the financials with respect to BPL. And I got to tell you, it is astounding. Yes. When this Davis administration came into office, if we exclude the legacy debt, the $20 million for BEC, there was an additional $74 million for BEC, BPL jointly, and then there was some foreign currency debt that that we could probably consider legacy now because it doesn't look like it's getting paid back right away. but the balance stood at around 45 million. Central government, loaned to BPL. We fast forward about 4 years, and this is amazing. That number now stands at $287 million. On top of that, we have a staff complement that rose from roughly 800 in September of 2021 to almost 1,300 people today. So we've given them more money. We've
almost double
more people. Why are we experiencing this?
And they have absolutely nothing to show for it.
That's the
nothing,
next question.
Nothing.
What did we get for the additional? And this is an easy number to remember: 242 million. What did we get for that additional injection of cash to BPL over the years and adding almost 500 employees? What have we gotten for that?
And here's the kicker. And then they want to go and export that chaos and confusion and misery to Grand Bahama.
Oh boy!
So I tell them, good luck, buckle up, go get your generator, right?
Oh boy!
Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, what we are experiencing is a massive tax on the poor. It is a tax on poor people because guess what? The big companies, the rich folks, they could just switch on their generator, right? I think we heard a Bahamar talking about how it's not a hindrance to them. They just cut their generators on, right?
Be a good corporate citizen.
Be a good corporate citizen, right? Yeah. But what about the barber? What about the chicken shack? What about the small convenience store that's struggling to make it? They can't just go and flip their generator on.
Yeah.
And it is a completely out of touch position to have to say just go get a generator. Which brings me to the next point.
Go ahead, MJ. Go ahead.
It brings me to the next point of what is the government doing to assist those individuals who are struggling? What are we doing to assist the person who has lost produce, who has lost equipment, who has lost business, who still has to pay rent, still got to pay NIB?
Medication and elderly patients that have equipment that need electricity 24/7.
You got it. I remember when the former Prime Minister Ingram was doing the road works. What he did was he made sure that there was a cry about how it was disrupting business day to day. You know what was done? They gave them assistance to keep up with the disruption in their day-to-day living. The PLP made a huge issue about that, and the government listened and they responded and did just that.
You think there should be compensation?
100%, 100%, because it is massive tax on the average person. It is extremely inconvenient, and it can cause real disruption in the life of a person and a business.
I think it's been rough just in so many places and for many of us. But every time I start to complain, my mind goes to Grand Key. So Grand Key has been without reliable power, without electricity for something like almost 3 weeks now. If you told me that this was something that was possible in the 2026 Bahamas, I would not have believed it. But now I see that it is possible for you to have a whole key with hundreds of Bahamians absolutely in the dark for weeks. How is this acceptable?
And there's no comment by the minister. The minister's absent. She's in Paris. She's having a good time.
No, but if you look at the track record of this minister, you have to applaud her on her consistency because she's failed in every ministry she's been in: transport, housing, now BPL, now energy.
But and ultimately,
no
Naughty
results to show from any one of those ministries.
Ultimately, Naughty, it starts with what do you say? The buck stops here. The Prime Minister, he's absolutely correct. The buck does stop there, and it's up to him to take control of either one, the minister or the ministry or the issue that's happening.
Or
and if
both.
You're not all of them, right? And if you're not going to fix the issue, then get rid of the person who then put someone there who will. But you can't have no one doing anything and people sitting in darkness.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. A progressive move by the Prime Minister right now, since we haven't seen it, especially from his administration, would be a shuffle, would be to remove some people. And I'd say replace Kobe Davis with Bacchus Road. Bacchus has a long-standing familiarity with BEC. That's where he came from. He's a people person. He knows how to deal with the clients. He's been doing it for years. He knows the nuts and bolts of it. That's somebody that could actually put stuff in place that would benefit Bahamians long term.
But what I've heard, Naughty, is that the Prime Minister's already checked out, right? his view is, well, I done got my 2 terms, I ain't checking no more, so whatever y'all do is what y'all do, which is why you got Chester and Sabas and Jerome Fitzgerald all fighting each other internally for power.
It's early though, man.
I'm
telling you, yes, boy, Jerome Anglin for leader, right? And so what you have is you have a lot of disarray within the cabinet happening right now. They are paralyzed because they are too busy fighting each other internally for power that's coming down the pipeline because they know Brave's term. He's a lame duck prime minister. And so they are now jockeying internally for power. And so nothing is getting done. There's massive infighting happening in the government right now.
So we do have this serious energy problem right now. We don't have reliability. We don't have sustainability. We don't have affordability. What do you think is the way to go now? We see what a mess it is. Mm-hmm. So how do we fix this, Carlisle?
Well, I think the first thing that needs to be done is I think the government needs to be upfront and honest about exactly what is happening. Right? It needs to completely outline the details of the current status and the arrangement of the relationship between BPL and Bahamas Grid Company.
Okay.
I think that's the first thing.
Okay.
I also think that the government should look at a serious plan to compensate Bahamians who have suffered tremendously under their missteps, whether dealing with appliances, spoiled food, compromised medication, prolonged outages, you name it. The next thing I think ought to happen is the government ought to, cancel all these unnecessary trips, eliminate unnecessary consultants, reduce the wasteful spending, and use that money to fix the problem. And lastly, I think it must present a comprehensive energy plan with clear timelines, costs, and accountability that Bahamians can now look to in the medium and long term to fix this failed energy system that we have. Energy is not a luxury; it's a necessity.
It is. Thank you so much
for stopping by and expounding on what you put out earlier and your earlier statements on social media. Obviously, we gotta have you back so we can talk some F&M. All right. So
we want the tea.
Thank you. We'll do.
And we gotta talk about Jerome the homie. I don't know where he coming from out of that.
Yeah.
We gotta figure that one out.
Look into that one.
All right.
Thank you, Carlisle.
Appreciate you. And we'll do it again, and we'll talk F&M next time. But thanks so much for stopping by, and like I told you, all the best, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
I want to thank Carlisle, man. Let me get a couple of texts in before we get to the break, MJ. Naughty come December 2026, this government will be the shortest government. Stay in the Bahamas. Stay tuned. It's coming. I keep telling you.
Why does that texter keep saying that? Is so.
And
actually, you got to tell us why you keep saying this. This is not. Elections are years away, texter. Come on.
We gonna follow it. The people of Grand Key were all bought out to vote for this lousy administration, and the PLP paid all their light bills and building material vouchers before election, so now they need to take it.
I bet you that's that same person that talks about Luthra that says the same thing. Oh, man. Y'all got to have some. I mean, 3 weeks, no electricity. I hear everything, but come on. That is not okay. That's not okay.
Boy, we got one. We got Bilal from one of these texts coming up. I can get to it right now. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. And yes, the nonsense what Ingram ran on with last night was garbage. He should know what to say and when to say it. He was attempting to throw Pintard under the bus. It was clear. If he doesn't have anything good to say, he needs to keep quiet.
Oh, boy.
All sorts of alleged laundering going on. Boy, I tell you, they give in diagonal competition when it comes to washing you and pressing you.
What?
Naughty, tell your guests, Grand Bahama will never, ever fail power. We have experts at our power plant, not no jokers. Listen.
You do have experts. BPL has experts, too.
You and I got to talk. My lovely better half wife, MJ, I love you, but I got to go in on Grand Bahama right now. Turn out of way and bite your lip.
What?
But this text, to the point of nauseum text, every day popping off, talking out the side of his neck. I trying to warn him, listen, then you see the crew from BPL and Bahamas Grid come down and get their tentacles on Freeport Power. Boy, look here, you all could be in conniptions. Every day you're popping off. You come up today and say, we don't have no jokers. We don't have no jokers at our plant either.
I think they should stay separate, to be honest with you. The two
Correct.
companies, yeah, both are owned by
But I gotta
government
ask
and
this
Bahamians,
Freeport
but they should
texter,
stay separate.
this braggadocious Freeport texter. You know, when you all get your reputation as being stushy and stuck up Freeporters, texters like this person here who's caused you all to get that reputation. But listen here, texter, answer me this. If Freeport's so good at power and don't have no jokers, not for my sake, but not for your sake, but for Jesus' sake, answer me, Mr. Freeport Power. How did Grand Key, y'all swing Grand Key so and let them down so?
No. You
Y'all
know
had
the
two
crazy thing?
generators go over there. None of them was working, and it was coming from Grand Bahama. Y'all couldn't get them there on time and properly. Y'all couldn't get them
One
there
was.
functioning.
One was for sure. I know the other one, I think, was Morris Island, the first one, and then
Morris
Grand
Island,
Bahama.
second one from Grand
Bahama is
Grand
now
Bahama. Again,
now
all
engaged.
kapunkle up. And you around here every day texting me, talking at the side of your neck. Y'all can't
engaged.
I'll tell you that much.
I tell you, Grand Key is like geographically and legally a part of the Abacos, but I feel like culturally it's a part of Grand Bahama. I just don't know why we didn't go to Grand Bahama Power Company earlier to assist Grand Key. You know, you could do, I know it falls under BPL, but you know, electricity companies, utility companies help each other out all the time. We heard the other day that we help Jamaica, Jamaica helps us. Well, we should have put something in place quickly between the Grand Bahama Power Company and Bahamas Power and Light and get some relief over to Grand Key. I mean, 3 weeks, that is crazy. And it should be unacceptable. It's not us, but come on now. We should really think about it. Our fellow Bahamians sitting on a key with no electricity for 3 weeks. How is that acceptable?
Hey, Grand Bahama text, I want to hear you with the same energy now. Come on now. Let's go. I'm waiting on you.
Leave Grand Bahama alone, okay? They're helping now.
Same energy now. Let's go.
They're helping now. You know, this is protocols and stuff.
Naughty, you kind of missed this yesterday when Belinda Wilson was on the show. Please tell Belinda I'm glad they still ain't open up school today on August 24th. I pass by SC McPherson every day going to work. The school looks like crap. We need a haircut and a shave and some makeup on the face. I mean, mason work and painting outside, and the gates need to be fixed. It is absolutely deplorable. Naughty, tell that text to Ingram getting like minutes now. The two of them need to go chill out and cool out.
Could you guys just stop? Just stop it. We did hear that, you know, the schools, there's still some cosmetic work to be. I think the ministry said 85% complete. So we'll see. They got a couple of days.
Let's go to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Question, Naughty.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, buddy. So when the crew from Pike left, right? Do you know if they took the technology with them?
That's a great question.
That's a very good question.
Because, you know, we should be building capacity. We should be.
I would lean to say that they probably did, considering they took all their other assets back.
They're the specialists, right?
Well, listening to Carlisle, you know, I get the impression that, you know, it's being held together by spit and baling wire.
I mean, the blackouts tell you what.
Listen, Chancleta, hold on.
I mean, because you can say that, but you get all these outages. So what's the difference?
All right. MJ made up the point I was just going to ask you, Chancleta. And you say I give you a hard time, I call you flip-flop, but let's be real. How is it being held together right now? Are we not having piss-poor energy production right now and distribution?
No, well, hold it. You asking me the question.
I'm asking you this question. In your opinion, right? As a former,
because I can't defend that.
A former person affiliated with BPL.
No. I know a lot about things. Okay.
I
used to work in the garage.
I gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
You know things.
I know a lot about things. I know.
Gotcha. You know things.
Okay?
All right.
So you worked in the garage.
Yes.
He knows things.
You didn't work in power production or distribution or any of that.
Well, I used to rebuild the power station engines in Andros.
Okay.
Okay.
Back in the day. way back
So
in the day.
my,
But see,
I think you have
okay,
a good enough opinion to know A or B. Are we having good power production? A, yes. B, no. What's the B? No.
wait, hold on. That is a rhetorical question. you, you, you are aware of the answer, okay? See, our problem is that transformers can only do certain things. They step up or step down, okay? If transformers are exploding, it means that something is off in terms of input.
And now we go with what? Internal engineers that are obviously putting in the wrong input?
No. Okay. You have 3 or 4 systems trying to get into one grid. Okay?
Overload.
Now, every system has a certain signature in terms of what it's applying. Now, those signatures have to match. If those signatures aren't matching, that's where the problem happens. Now, if you would see, most of our problems are happening in areas where there are underground cables, right? And those cables have been exposed to what? Salt over the years. We need to get all them stuff that is underground out west and out east above ground.
So there's a myriad of mitigating factors that are contributing to this overall failure.
I mean, yeah, we're on an island, so salt will be.
No.
And to be quite fair with you, we're hearing about outages even in places that are kind of inland. So, I mean, I hear you, but yeah.
What's real is the majority of stuff happening.
All over.
Hey, all the land that is north of Gregory's Arch, right? Most of that is reclaimed, And there are underground cables in that area also.
Like I said, there's a myriad of contributing factors contributing to all this, Chancleta, but we got to get to the break. I'm not cutting you, but producer giving me the hard break, so I got to get to the break.
Thanks, Chancleta.
But like I said, there's a myriad of elements going on. The more you talk about, I think with the biggest thing going on, MJ, is the grid is in deplorable situation.
And we can't come talking about
Western, they knew it was there, and they should become public with it.
You can't talk about salt on an island after 50 years. Come on, man. This is the worst that it has ever been in recent memory. We can acknowledge that. We can acknowledge that all over the island we're seeing outages. I follow their BPL Direct channel, which I think is for the most part they're pretty good.
And I want to give them props. I think that's the only thing
that
they got functioning on time with sense. I get regular updates since you beat me to it, and I appreciate you for that.
Sometimes they say we're going to turn it on at a certain time, and then the time comes and goes, and they don't turn it on and no update. But in terms of the outages, like they regularly update that particular WhatsApp channel. So I do think that they're doing a good job on that. But you just go look at it. It is everywhere, and just so consistently we're seeing these messages about outages here. We're aware of outages there, and it's not just the coastline. It's not just east. It's not just west. And by the way, he mentioned transformers. I do recall that the chief operating officer of Power and Light, Mr. Christie, said that they needed that generator from Egypt, which looks like they got it, and that was responsible for 1/3 of the island of New Providence. So have we received that? Has that been installed? He also mentioned in the interview that we need many more. Well, this was a while ago that interview was done. Have we gotten the many more? We've poured hundreds of millions into BPL just in the last 4 years. The numbers are astounding. What have we gotten back for the money that the central government has loaned to BPL? That's the question.
Let me check the text lines real quick. Naughty, we in Freeport deals with Sweet and Key, and Grand Key made their best choice and chose Freeport, and now that's why they have no power.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's not do that. Let's not go there.
Grand Key catching hell, and the Wetlands MP they voted for is silent. Vote on issues instead of things next time. Good afternoon, MJ and Naughty. I just passed SC McPherson just now off early, or they sleeping on the job. Seems same goes for the landscaper. SC still looks like the same outside toilet.
We gotta get the landscaping done before the kids get back to school.
I tell you.
And get that done.
Before we get to the break, MJ, little somber notes today.
Oh.
And I think men across the world are mourning. I think.
Really? You're gonna go there?
Who will always be their favorite country and western singer?
You're a mess.
Dolly Parton. No, I mean, listen. I remember Dolly growing up. Dolly was one of my grandpa's favorite artists of all time.
Yeah.
Like, she'd be on Hee Haw because he was a big fan of Hee Haw. She had her own show. When Dolly was on, he had to watch Dolly. And if anybody knew my grandpa KM, he was the life of the party, very boisterous, extrovert, always had something to say, great quotes, very funny, great sense of humor. He'd always be quiet when Dolly Parton was on TV. And we asked him, he said, "Well, Paul, why you always be quiet?" I just love to listen to her sing and look at her big, 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 beautiful eyes.
She was quite the talent. Like, she used to have this show that was on Sunday nights where it was like a variety show. You remember back in the day?
A lot of talent came through that show.
So many talented people. And she was talented.
Variety, because it wasn't just singers. It was dancers. It was comedians. It was ventriloquists. I mean, Waylon Flower and Madams was on there for tons of times, as well as Solid Gold. And Madam was a hoot.
Yeah, it was a great show back in the day. So a lot of us in Freeport that had cable back then are very familiar with.
There you go with that little braggadocious. You don't like that little power.
Very familiar with
the backhand touche, right?
With Dolly Parton. I think a show used to come on after Star Search back in the day. So yeah, I am definitely gonna miss her. She was such a talented woman and did a lot of philanthropic things.
Once we got satellite, we started to get that. We started to get the Mandrell sisters and America's Got Talent.
It's a Solid Gold and all of that, eh?
We have had Solid Gold.
On the Sunday night, y'all had Solid Gold. Okay. All right. But yeah, Dolly was quite the talent, so.
And huge philanthropist.
May she rest in peace. Passed away at the age of 80 years old today. So we're going to miss her.
And a huge philanthropist, too, not to be remiss. She did a lot of things behind the scenes for multiple charities, multiple organizations.
Quiet as kept. And wrote the most famous song of another, super talented songstress. That's "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston, originally a Dolly Parton song written by Dolly Parton. And Elvis wanted to do a version of it, but he wanted to own it, and she said no. And, maybe that was a good decision for her, because years later,
her catalog is huge.
Whitney Houston took it through the roof, like absolutely bodied that song.
That's one of the rare times somebody has covered somebody else's song and actually bodied them, and the original person looked at them and said, "Yeah, go girl, you go."
Exactly.
Go ahead. It's okay, go.
So Dolly Parton, rest in peace. We're gonna go to the break now. What do you have lined up?
Well, here's one that I actually liked, because my mummy, Lord bless the dead, my mummy Marlene and my late aunt Kay, they were big Dolly Parton fans. But, Dolly had that typical country and western style. But when she came with Jolene, that right there was a song that a lot of people gravitated to.
Even the reggae artists recently.
Correct. It was covered multiple times, multiple nations, multiple artists, multiple genres. And it did well on the charts unexpectedly. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't our very own today's version, didn't Beyonce do a cover of it?
She may have. Actually, I think she did for Cowboy Carter. She probably did a version of it. You're right.
But let's get to that. We got a call, so let's get the call, and then we'll get to the break. Because Talking Heads.
Okay, quickly, I thank you for taking my call, and good afternoon to both of you.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I don't feel as though that Pike took the technology with them. What usually happens in these kinds of arrangements is they bring in the equipment, the expertise, and sometimes temporary systems to stabilize what we may have going. So when they leave, they may carry their gear with them, and leaving us to be as we were, which probably what we're dealing with now. But to your caller, your previous caller, because I have a little playing around on a degree in electronic design technology, and I'm looking at an isolation transformer. So transformers don't just step up and step down. you can use them to isolate. They both have the same number of turns on the primary and the secondary, but they're used to isolate for safety. And I probably wish we had more of them in our system instead of just step up and step down transformers. So they don't just do two things. Some are really good at isolating. But I wish I was living close to one because, boy, listen, I wouldn't be paying no BEC bill. Thanks for taking my call.
All right.
We have the smartest, smartest listeners.
What about invitation to dance?
Oh, interesting.
MJ, tell Naughty if they didn't have satellite, all they used to watch was stinking ZNS. No, that's where you're wrong. Because we had aerial antennas before satellite. And we
Them
used to
big ones,
ABC,
right?
NBC and CBS and out of West Palm. And the favorite was ABC out of Miami with Dwight Lauderdale and Ann Bishop. Okay, don't play with me, buddy.
That sounds cumbersome. We merely had to switch the channel.
Don't play with me. Freeport,
that sounds
you got to get the
cumbersome.
information because guess what? When me and MJ come to Freeport, listen here, we got to sit down and I got to sit down over a cold beverage review and me and MJ, and then let me put you in your place,
Oh, man. All right. So we're going to we're going to take a quick break right here.
Dolly said
right
she had
back.
to pull over when she heard Whitney sing her song, I Will Always Love You, working 9 to 5. Another good one. Yeah, and here's another good one that we missed. Islands in the Stream with Kenny Rogers.
Of course.
Collaboration, too.
Of course. A great one. She was so super talented. We will miss Dolly Parton. All right. We're going to go to the break now.
News coming up out of the break.
All right.
And then we'll go into the 5 o'clock. But yeah, go ahead. Intro it, man. The late, great Dolly Parton. I can't believe we're saying that, MJ.
Jolene. Here's Jolene by Dolly Parton, who passed away today at the age of 80. May she rest in peace.
Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him just because you can. Your beauty is beyond compare, with flaming locks of auburn hair, with ivory skin and eyes of emerald green. Your smile is like a breath of spring, your voice is soft like summer rain, and I cannot compete with you, Jolene. He talks about you in his sleep, and there's nothing I can do to keep from crying when he calls your name, Jolene. And I can easily understand how you could easily take my man, but you don't know what he means to me, Jolene. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him just because you can. You could have your choice of men, but I could never love again. He's the only one for me, Jolene. I had to have this talk with you. My happiness depends on you, and whatever you decide to do, Jolene. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him even though you can. Jolene, Jolene.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Bahamas, get ready. Strictly Speaking with Earl Thompson starts Monday, August 31st at 2 p.m. 2 hours, strictly speaking, from Nassau to the Family Islands. Strictly Speaking is your voice. We will have exciting guests. We will talk politics, cost of living, culture, and community affairs. No filter, no fear, just strictly facts. Monday to Thursday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., right here on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Strictly Speaking is your voice. Strictly Speaking.
Getting ready to go back to school? Come on into John, where we will have you looking smart on your feet with the wide selection of brands you can trust for boys and girls. Hush Puppies, Skechers, Camper, Timberland, Class Action, Hey Dude, and more. Get a bag for those books or a new lunchbox from a wide selection of spray ground and Toto backpacks. Socks and belts are available in colors and sizes as well. All this and more with the best prices and customer service in town at John's on Rosetta Street, Carmichael Road, and now the Venetian Village shops at Old Fort Bay. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
Talk to me. You've heard the conversations, but you haven't heard them quite like this. I'm Gabby, and Fridays are about to get a little more interesting. From the headlines everyone's talking about to real life, culture, and entertainment, there's always a seat for you at my table. For the conversations that inform, perspectives that inspire, moments that entertain, authenticity that cannot be contained. Talk to me with Gabby. Fridays at 2 p.m. on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
Beginning Friday, September 4th.
Summer's here, and KFC's got summer buckets just for you. Every bucket starts with 8 legs and thigh pieces of your favorite chicken, plus 4 golden biscuits. Grab the value bucket for just $20 or go big with our mega bucket, packed with everything you need for summer fun on the beach, boat, or on the road. Need more? Add 4 Pepsis, Family Fries, or the new mango dessert biscuit for only $5. KFC's summer buckets have big flavor, big value, and finger-licking good chicken only at KFC Nassau.
Every day we're told how to work, worship, love, and live by systems that were never built for our flourishing. But underneath the noise, there's an older wisdom waiting to be rediscovered. Tune in with me, Kahun Anku Sarah, as I invite you to set aside the distractions and spend 90 minutes reconnecting to what's real on Unplugged with Kahun Anku Sarah every Sunday at 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. 90 minutes to remember who you are.
Running low on summer funds? Squeeze every drop of fun out of your summer with a Fidelity personal loan. From backyard upgrades to family getaways, Fidelity is here to help. Call 356-7764 today.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, we got you. Percy's Pension Plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, go play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
Who has the best quality windows and doors in the country? Find out Saturday, April the 12th, when Stormframe Windows and Doors puts theirs and others to the test. Enjoy a delicious taco and save big on top brands like PGT, CGI, and Windor. With hundreds of windows and doors in stock, Stormframe is the largest window and door dealer in the Caribbean and the largest fabricator and dealer in the Bahamas. A big sale, tasty tacos, one day only and just in time for hurricane season. Saturday, April the 12th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. only at Stormframe Windows and Doors.
Buffalo Ranch, Dunk Buffalo Ranch. Get messy with it.
Dive in hot with the new KFC Dunk Buffalo Ranch.
Hey, Dunk Buffalo Ranch.
A crispy ranch chicken sandwich with buffalo sauce on the side.
Buffalo on the side. Buffalo on the side.
For just $8.95, get messy with it and dunk it how you want it. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Everybody dunk. Everybody ranch.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
Just remember
Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ is brought to you by Burger King, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, KFC, Muffler World, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's and Games, and Prince Masters.
1 in the air for the people ain't here. 2 in the air for the brother that's there. 3 in the air
We're
for the
back
kids
at
in
you
the
on the Tuesday, August 25th edition of Talking Heads. Naughty and MJ, the company right up until 6 p.m. on this Tuesday. And the week's flying by. August is flying by. I mean, I tell you. And it's still hot outside, too, though. My God.
Well, that's going to be for a while. And El Nino is coming, and that brings...
El Nino.
El Nino. That brings droughts and flooding. And, we have that to contemplate.
Unpleasantries.
Yeah, towards... I think they said that it'll intensify between October and December, so you gotta get kind of ready for anything that may come our way.
Okay, that's let me get back to the text lines real quick. You can check most answers on AI. All right, what are you referring to, Texas? Which answers are you referring to? Naughty, why you attacking me? That was not me calling you about Sesame Street. When you come to Freeport, hit me up. I am the guy who won the case of Bed Night last year. Okay, I got you, man. Yes, but all right, we definitely, man. Look here,
you see, going
now that that's you. Now that that's you can continue with your smack talk. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Good to hear from you, man. Glad to know you're doing well. And football season coming up, so I expect to hear from you. Don't forget about the press box on Sundays, too. All right, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. right here on Guardian Radio. Good afternoon, MJ and Naughty. We in the Bahamas always talk about brain drain, but there is a reason our abroad educated failed to return home. In June, the Minister of Health just graduated a cohort of doctors where they are now doing their internship but have not been paid since they received their white coat in June. I can tell you this unequivocally as a family member. Please echo a clarion call that they must be paid. Thank you.
Dr. Darville, please pay the doctors. My goodness.
But listen,
please pay the. Should we have to say that, though? Should we have to say that?
Okay.
What kind of system we running?
I'm going to put, 8 years for medical.
Yeah.
So I'm about 26 or 27 when I graduate. I got a hospital in the States where was offering me an internship with a job post-internship. Or I got internship back home but I can't get paid here for. Which one am I going to take?
You're going to go with the one where you can get paid because you got to pay off those those medical school
loans
you got and all the loans and stuff.
Correct.
That you got
and
for
you
your
gotta,
education.
You got to look at opportunity for upward mobility. That if you're young and you're talented and you're doing well, they will promote you.
It is so crazy to me, though. How do you think people are living if you're not giving them their paychecks? Like, how long do you think the average Bahamian can go without receiving their paycheck? Come on, Dr. Darville. If you got a whole new class of young doctors, you do want to encourage them to stay first in the country, second in the public system, which is its own challenges, right? Because as soon as they could get out, a lot of them get out. So you want to keep them there. You got to pay them on time. What is the hold up? Stuff like that, the administrative stuff, the human resources stuff should be done quickly. You got the people work. And doctors don't work, especially the young ones. They don't work like regular people hours. Like they work extensive hours. Correct. So there's no way people working that hard. Sometimes I don't know if they still have the little like bunks and stuff where some of the new ones basically live in on the campus and they have to be available, but they're there for like a couple of days at a time. I don't know if that's still happening, but you got to pay the people. And there should be no excuses, man. I mean, enough time has passed now. We should be efficient at this.
And I'm going to say something, too. Just because you've been in a capacity for 30 years doesn't make you an expert, especially if you don't upgrade yourself as a physician. You know, one thing I love, and here's a shameless plug for my doctor, Dr. Barnaby, but I mean, docs stay upgraded. Docs stay doing, course here, upgrading and rebuilding. And that's what I suggest every young doctor does.
Yeah,
you have to reinvest in yourself. And I'm going to speak from personal experience, call no name, catch no blame. But there was a time when my wife was pregnant where we sat in the doctor's office and we saw a veteran doctor have a beautiful ultrasound machine sitting in the office and couldn't work it to save their life.
Yeah, let's just be clear.
That was the ultrasound, and the ultrasound sat in there.
That wasn't the last one because I eventually got a very competent OBGYN. So yeah.
And shameless plug for Dr. Laura. Shout out to
Dr. Laura. Yeah, she's so good.
And shout out to Javi too. That's my boy.
The thing is though, how do you expect? And it's the same question I have with when we heard that the government has about $241 million in unpaid arrears. Like, how do you think people are surviving if you're very late? Same with the doctors with the NHI. If you're very late to make the payments to them, that has such a cascading effect because they still have to pay their rent on time. They still have to pay their staff on time. They still have to pay BPL on time. They still have to pay their insurance on time. Like, things have to be paid. So why are you slunking?
I expect Bahamians now that have had voters' remorse, for the next 4 years, y'all need to moan, complain, bellyache for everything that y'all need. Because obviously you have to look at the crux and the precipice that we're on. We are looking down a huge black hole abyss at the end of this administration's tenure. And if it's after 2 terms, if they get another term after that, financially, we need to be able to survive.
Well,
we can't be having generations. We got generations now who aren't even born yet, got bills on their head.
Oh, they certainly do. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around all of this money.
We need to get it together, and we need to have accountability where the money is spent.
Absolutely.
121 million in beaches and parks, 250 million missing from here, 700 from the investment. Like, where did it all go?
There's a question about this money that has been advanced to BPL. It is a lot when you think about it. In just a couple of years, to go from, not including the legacy debt, but around $45 million to $287 million. I think the Guardian has it at something like 308, but I don't think that even includes the four. I think that's just the Bahamian dollar debt. And this has just been in the last administration. And by last administration, we're talking about the Davis administration. And this new term, like, these loans have been just monumental, and we haven't been given an explanation publicly. That's a lot of money. Now, are we saying BPL needs these bailouts regularly? I guess that's what it means, but where does the money go? Why does it need these bailouts?
Where does the money go? Where does the money come from to pay it?
A little bit. Well, it comes from us. You're going to pay those taxes. That's where it comes from.
That's what I'm scared of.
So I just think a little bit of an explanation, well, a big explanation, because this is a lot of money, would help the public to understand better. You know, BPL, you talk about too big to fail. BPL is one of those things that cannot fail. We acknowledge that. We understand what that would mean for the country. It would be absolutely devastating. So there will be times where you have to kind of step in, but the amount and the frequency of it and the fact that we're not getting a public explanation, that's a problem. As is the situation with the $700 million from the National Investment Fund. The fact that nobody has seen fit to address the public again and tell us exactly where our National Investment Fund sits right now, I mean, that is a problem. And I wonder why the administration is taking on these unnecessary PR problems. Because how simple would it be to just give us a comprehensive statement that tells us what's in our National Investment Fund, who the board members are, and, you know, who the investment committee members are. I mean, that's not complicated stuff. We know that you'll come with the numbers eventually. When that is, we don't know. But if you just kind of answered even the basic questions, but it is very hard to be in this environment where it feels as though you can ask until your head explodes and you just can be totally ignored as a Bahamian and collectively as Bahamians, you know, asking questions and they just aren't being answered.
Let's get to the text lines real quick. Good afternoon, MJ and Naughty. Have you heard about the 20-foot container carrying BPL generator that overturned at Esso gas station today? All over that they worked to win the election and start turning back on them. Y'all got some theories out of this world.
Yeah, I see BPL said that it wasn't their truck. They're not liable. Well,
medical school is free in the Bahamas. That may be all well and good, but if there's no benefits and advantages to pursue a career here post, you know, medical school, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, you can't live off. Oh, it was free, so we ain't paying. That it don't work like that. Like young doctors have bills they need to pay. Like, you gotta pay the people, regardless of. Okay, you may have contributed to their education. Sure, that may, entitle you to some sort of an agreement where they do work in the public system, but you still got to pay the people. Come on.
Good afternoon. They still have the bachelor's lounge at the PMH where doctors remain on the compound to answer emergency specialty
Okay, so they
calls.
do. All right, thank
Dedication
you.
is so important. Kudos to all the doctors who continue to work so hard to
Yep.
preserve life.
Yep, thank you. Thank you, Dexter, for...
Good afternoon, MJ and Naughty. BOB has prevented persons from getting anything off their account for weeks.
Well, let's wait, hang on, wait, you can't, please, y'all, don't start that today, okay? You can't say that. If there's a technical difficulty, then we're calling on the leadership of BOB, but you can't go out there and say, oh, they ain't letting people, that could create a panic, so you got to be a little bit more responsible.
Apparently, folks can't access their funds.
And even that may be a bit too broad, but if there is an issue, then yes, BOB has to deal with it. We expect to hear from them. Give us some details, Texter. You can't put a broad statement out there like that concerning a bank. Give us give me details so I can understand what's happening.
For the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and has not been able to get his money from July paycheck.
So do we know that, was the paycheck?
And it is not isolated to him only. I know police officers experience the same complaints all over.
Okay, let us ask some questions on that, Texter. Thank you.
We'll do some due diligence.
Let us ask some questions around that so we, don't put any panicking type information out there for the general public. We do not want that to happen, especially with our national bank.
Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. We, the citizens and the government, really need to connect the dots on how these many issues, power outages, lack of affordable housing, corruption at every level, not feeling safe, lack of trust, degradation of the mindset of not all, but far too many among us. I could go on and on. I feel miserable, tired, fatigued, and most of all trapped in a vortex of empty promises and craziness and taxation. The misery index in the Bahamas is great. That is at the basis for so many of the other ills in our society. Please, 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 can our government pause and look at what is happening to us? I feel like successive governments have forgotten, don't care about us, the people. This is not the Bahamas I thought I would be living in now as a 57-year-old.
Yeah, when you don't have that transparency, when you're not communicative, when you need to be, you will have citizens feeling basically kind of like hopeless, and that's never a good place to be because hopelessness will last a moment, but then it switches into something else a lot less pretty. Speaking of the taxes, we were going to talk about this a little bit yesterday. We're still looking at it, but they rolled out the new One Tax Bahamas. And I see a lot of people are talking about it. Boy, that stir up something online, eh? Which is crazy, because I told you guys back it was probably right after the budget, I said the thing that I am looking at the most and keeping an eye on is this Bahamas, all the talking heads who listen know, the Bahamas identification number and the one tax, because I got some questions around this, and they did make a presentation where they talked about it. Initially, they're kind of describing it as a transformation of the entire Department of Inland Revenue Tax Administration system. So the ones that we know so far are being integrated. The initial taxes include VAT, business license, stamp tax, real property tax, and what they're calling Pillar 2 corporate tax. So, yeah, we're going to have some questions. I know they say that they're going to be out there.
They said that it's progressive, so wouldn't it be that they add on other taxes later on, possibly like income tax?
Well, the income tax thing, I see that popped up and had people basically freaking out online yesterday. So, but let me just say this, though, because I am not saying that eventually, a more integrated system such as this isn't what is used by some countries to when they introduce income tax, but understand that it would take an act of parliament for income tax to be a thing. This system alone, just the one tax and the Bahamas identification number, it does not get us to income tax. It doesn't. Okay, so, but there are some important questions that we do have to ask because we've seen a couple of things: VAT, business license, stamp tax, real property. I mean, that's the initial phase, but where does it go after that? They're talking about this one identification number and connecting everything. And so, there's usually this thing called like, it's kind of like system creep, where you start off with one couple of things, and then the next thing you know, all kinds of things or like mission creep, I think they call it, where all sorts of other things start getting added to it. So when they do start explaining, I think that it'll be great to hear, and I can't wait to hear from the folks at, the Ministry of Finance, and they can explain to us, what the capabilities are, like what else it'll connect later. They have to answer some questions around, access to other information, unrelated government services. We have to understand who's going to authorize the way that they link the data. And we're going to have to understand, whether or not, these things are going to be governed by statute, regulation, just administrative policy, or really just system permissions. Those are important questions. And then I really wish that they would have allowed Parliament to see the architecture and lay out the rules for the Bahamians before the system becomes, universal. So they say September 1st is the start date. Looks like they're moving ahead, but I suspect that they need to get on the ground quickly and explain to the Bahamian people what the one tax and the BIN is going to do in the short, medium, and long term, because I can tell you from a political angle, you're behind the eighth ball, because people are already saying, oh, this is them trying to do mission creep to get to income tax, and the response has been, wow, negative, overwhelmingly negative. Bahamians are very suspicious of this. I know that one of the things the government said is that this is going to help with efficiency, which is legitimate, right? If we could get efficient systems, I think that's a good thing. But we have to have some rules. We have to have some parameters. And we're not going to forget that the minister himself said it in Parliament that it's all about leakages, reducing leakages, and compliance. So that means that you're going to get a lot more money out of Bahamians. You're going to see people you weren't able to see before. And that's going to be interesting, particularly if they feel overwhelmed, and particularly if you think you can go about this in a non-transparent manner. That's not going to work.
Let's get back to the text lines real quick. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. This is not our fund. We are the behaving people. We need a behaving people fund. That is not our fund. That is a fund to do as they see. That is to travel all over the world and do what we please with no answers. Fund.
Yeah, we just need the balance of it. I mean, it's so funny to think about a national investment fund that has very particular rules around it it's not like this current administration inherited the rules around the National Investment Fund. They wrote the rules. So why is compliance, you're talking about compliance for taxpayers, why is compliance so difficult? Where's the reporting? Where is the election certification that we should have gotten before the May 12th general election concerning the National Investment Fund? That should have been out a long time. We don't have any kind of eyes on that in the public domain. And then these questions that are being asked, why can't the minister step up and say it? I think they may be underestimating how focused Bahamians are going to get on this National Investment Fund, the $700 million, particularly as we continue to get squeezed and things get tighter, right? Because right now, we're looking at every dollar. We're seeing what's coming down the road because you're going to shore up the leakages. You know what that means, more money out of households. And you'll find that in a second, Bahamians' attitudes may shift dramatically over these monies.
Some more text to MJ. Naughty and MJ want to hear something ludicrous. At the entrance to the South Beach pool, they have sidewalks on both sides of the road and not being used by one single pedestrian. You have sidewalks dug up in the Saunders Beach area pre-election that have not been repaired, and now they're becoming a traffic hazard. When y'all can come fix that up. You still got that derelict boat right there to the causeway to the back of Fish Fry.
Yeah.
The back of Arawaki is absolutely deplorable. It looks like a boat graveyard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
It ain't pretty.
There was a suggestion, MJ and Naughty, that we need shares in the Devil's Deal. I disagree. We need the Devil's Deal to be obliterated. The deal adds millions of unnecessary costs to BEC. The LNG will be sold to Focal, so we have to pay cost and profit and Focal. Focal will own the solar. We have to buy the sun from them. BEC has 700 unexplained employment increases. Was that a doubling of the staff? BGC needs to be abandoned.
Not quite a doubling. The reporting says it went from roughly 800 in September of 2021 to almost 1,300 today. My rough math in my head, maybe 62%, something that around there. But that's a huge increase, particularly a company that then says, okay, we're going to kind of carve off transmission and distribution, and that goes to BGC. But, I mean, you didn't have a lot of people get seconded to BGC. Do we still have this huge staff complement at BPL today? So many questions. And when you look at the numbers, 287 million plus an additional 130 million that came in via BGC. I mean, we're talking already almost $500 million, but we're not seeing it. We're not feeling this big transformative investment in our energy grid. We just don't feel it.
Good afternoon, MJ and Naughty. I don't know what's going on with NIB. I retired from there last year, put in for my retirement pension, and over 10 months later, I haven't gotten one answer correct. I haven't gotten one check from them either. Always getting one excuse after the other. At this rate, I have to go and look for a job.
What? So you're retired, you put into NIB, and you're having a difficult...
Retired from NIB.
What? No way. Because if you work there, I mean, you would know what you got to do, right? I would think so. Oh my gosh, that sounds terrible. Yeah, maybe.
You're right, MJ. It is the system creep. Why do we need any other unique numbers? Each national insurance number is a unique number. Why?
That's the thing, and I think that's a legitimate question. You know, we're gonna ask some questions when they come around. Hopefully, they'll answer. I'm hoping that the press, our young, reporter crew get up to speed on this one quickly, because I think it's going to be an important conversation once they start talking more about it. But we're going to need to know what kind of information One Tax is going to collect. We need to know what systems will Bahamas Identification Number collect. We need to know what government agencies will have access. We need to know if the information collected for tax purposes will remain limited to tax purposes, right? That's a very important question. We also have to figure out what we do if we need to dispute some of the information they have. We need to figure out a way where we can audit the access to our personal data. I think that's important. And then we need to know what legal safeguards are in place for Bahamians before this system expands. It's coming, and let me tell you, this is going to be huge. The government is building a much more powerful tax administration system. So we need to know about the legal limits, we need privacy protections, and we need to know about transparency. We need to know the transparency measures that are going to govern that system. So I'm not screaming the sky is falling income tax yet. I recognize the capabilities. I'm sure the government recognizes the capabilities. They have to answer some questions. And remember back in June, I said that I also need to know, because notice now you got business license, you got property tax under one, system that they can see, right? And it's not that the government couldn't always see these things, but the ease, there's going to be frictionless view now. They can see it very easily. What's the future going to hold in terms of mission creep? Because people need to know, are you designing a system where if they owe NIB contributions and you can see it, now all of a sudden, okay, not only your business license affected, maybe your driver's license, maybe your passport. You know how our friends to the north who are excellent at tax collection, you know how they go. You owe something, you ain't getting no passport.
You ain't gonna never escape that.
You have to be very specific when you embark on your tour to let the public know exactly what One Tax and BIN is about. You got to answer some granular questions, and you got to, help Bahamians understand. As I said, the idea of efficiency and, making it easy for government to collect legal taxes is fine. But if you're going to do a kind of mission creep, then we need to know about that now, because Bahamians will have a problem with that.
Let's get back to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
MJ.
Talking Heads. Good afternoon.
Naughty. Why you think they're moving on them boats, them derelict boats out there by Awaki or on that land by Coral Island?
Tell me.
Huh?
You tell me.
A former prime minister owned a majority of that place. You understand? Welcome to the Bahamas, bro. Right, go on.
Oh, but that's very interesting right there.
I'm sipping my coffee. What?
All right, let's get to the break. Flip side of the break, MJ and I'll be back. We got more to talk about. We get you right to the 6 o'clock news break coming up, all right? We got the final half hour of the Tuesday, August 25th edition of Talking Heads, which continues right after this.
Bless like oh, no bless like oh, bless like oh, it ain't no bless like oh. Hey. I stand, tell me back my clothes, them by. Jump them, must see think I homeless, by. Need a doctor cause I homesick, by. Thank the Lord I get home. I come in.
Kane is in the building.
With elegant taste.
Summer's here, and
Getting ready to go back to school? Come on into John, where we will have you looking smart on your feet with the wide selection of brands you can trust for boys and girls. Hush Puppies, Skechers, Camper, Timberland, Class Action, Hey Dude, and more. Get a bag for those books or a new lunchbox from a wide selection of Sprayground and Toto backpacks. Socks and belts are available in colors and sizes as well. All this and more with the best prices and customer service in town at John's on Rosetta Street, Carmichael Road, and now the Venetian Village Shops at Old Fort Bay. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's pension plan, Island game, keep you winning. Percy's pension plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's pension plan, Island game, we got you. Percy's pension plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, go play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island game.
Buckets just for you. Every bucket starts with 8 legs and thigh pieces of your favorite chicken, plus 4 golden biscuits. Grab the value bucket for just $20 or go big with our mega bucket, packed with everything you need for summer fun on the beach, boat, or on the road. Need more? Add 4 Pepsis, Fountain Fries, or the new mango dessert biscuit for only $5. KFC's summer buckets have big flavor, big value, and finger-licking good chicken only at KFC Nassau.
Refined style with elegant taste. Then Fine Threads is your place. If you want those slacks hemmed or just taking the waist, then Fine Threads is your place. If you wanna look suave and debonair everywhere you go, like you're supposed to be in a video, wanna step out and look great, then Fine Threads is your place. Refined style with elegant taste, then Fine Threads is your place. Is your place.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Bless like oh, no bless like oh, bless like oh, it ain't no bless like oh. Hey. I stand, tell me back my clothes, them by. Jump them, must see think I homeless, by. Need a doctor cause I homesick, by. Thank the Lord I get home. I come in home, tell my Grammy break Johnny, okay. Tell the DJ play some rain straight. From the island I ain't from no state. Buy one ticket and I on my way. I come in home, tell my mommy break Johnny red. Tell my cousin how I'm cold got back. Tell the DJ play some raging straight. From the island, I ain't from no state. I come in home, it ain't no place like home. It ain't no place like home. It ain't no place like home.
But actually on the Wednesday, August 25th edition, sorry, Tuesday, August 25th edition of Talking Heads. Naughty and MJ and your company right up until 6 p.m. And the time right now is 5:35 p.m. And we still got lots to talk about, MJ.
I was so surprised at that. Did you hear the commissioner of police talk about that leaked police plan? My goodness gracious. So apparently they had a operation plan put together and somebody leaked it. Things real leaky these days. is supposed to be a new Providence-wide crackdown targeting illegal firearms, ammunition, drugs, and wanted suspects. And so because it got leaked, I guess the commissioner is saying that it could have helped the criminals evade police. This is crazy.
But now we have to look at who did the leaking. Why is there a leak?
Out of the police force leaking stuff like that involves them trying to get some firearms off the street.
I suggest the commissioner of police pose a Dutch boy and stick a finger in that leak real quick, okay? Let's plug that leak up.
Yeah, you got to plug that leak up because that's bad. That's terrible. Like,
see, when I used to talk about the Miami River Cops and the Rampart District in LA, these are the kind of things that emanate from a corrupt police force or a police force that does have corruption on it. Because I'm not saying all officers in our force are corrupt. You got some damn hardworking officers who go every day and put their life at risk for us to be able to sleep easy at night. So I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about those hardworking officers who can't get their insurance pension paid so that special needs kids can be taken care of. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the ones who have gone afoul of the law, who have gone there with different agendas, and who have been bad apples from day one. Those ones need to be addressed because when you get a leak like this, obviously now, what does that say? If a leak with that information is put out there, you have to have entities working on the force that have an allegiance to criminal entities putting that information out there.
Yeah, it's so
Why would you leak that kind of information? That makes no sense to leak.
I mean, you can't even trust
just say like a roadblock on Marathon.
Exactly.
Or a roadblock at Life Key or a roadblock at
like don't go around that road.
National police
prevention. Yeah. It's crazy. That's why I never understood the whole, few bad apples thing, because isn't the expression one bad apple spoils the whole bunch? So I never got it with it's just a few bad apples, but whichever bad apples leaked that information, what a huge disservice to the police department, right? Because not only were they not able to execute the plan that they had in place, but it makes the police department also look terrible because you got, potentially cops leaking it for the benefit of who? Like hardened criminals when you're talking firearms and drugs and all this kind of thing?
That's cray-cray.
It is beyond. I mean, I know that Commissioner is there now, and from day one, we've known that her job is to do a cleanup, right? Because, she's there because the other guy had to resign because of the mess, not only here, but in the U.S. But obviously, there's a long way to go to get the full cleanup because this makes no sense.
Let's get back to the text lines. Good afternoon, MJ and Naughty. The same people behind the moorings deal in the dark are allegedly the same people behind the BGC deal in the dark. And clearly the next national asset seizure in the dark was planned for Freeport Power, allegedly. They do not care about any Bahamian or the Bahamas. Their single objective is to wholesale buy the Bahamas, then double and triple costs to make a profit off of us. They have copied the Bay Street Boys strategy to a T. This piece for me and that piece for you.
I mean, it's clear that there's definitely some people taking advantage of some of the chaos in our institutions. I mean, it got to be, because this kind of money don't just go out there and just evaporate. It sits somewhere. It's in someone's, pocket. I'm not saying that the government is corrupt, but I'm saying that if we don't execute a higher degree of competence, then we're going to see a lot of waste. And there are people out there that absolutely can benefit from when you can't run your business competently. So we got to do something. There's a lot of money we're talking about.
Naughty and MJ, good afternoon. Why was it necessary for the PM and his team to go to India? I know why. BPL had Bay Street all kapunka up. Taj Mahal, imagine them couldn't open to take care of the best Indian food in
Shout
the
out to Taj Mahal.
So he had to jump on the plane and go to India to get
them samosas and get that naan. No, didn't they say that was a personal? Yeah, the meat samosas. Didn't they say that was a personal trip? Like, I don't know. I feel like you should still announce, even when your prime minister is on a personal trip, you should say he's going to be out of the country. He's here. I mean, come on, right? Because you still got, I assume, government employees perhaps with you.
I hear you went to Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I heard he went to attend a Punjabi MC concert. I hear he's a big fan of Punjabi MC.
Okay. Whatever it was, whatever the reason was, yeah. Again, we get a little bit more information. Don't understand why everything is so secretive. That is not the way that, good governance work. The more information you put out there, the better it is in terms of your relationship with the public whom you're charged with governing on the behalf of. I don't get the secrecy over everything. And then meanwhile, when we do eventually get information, it's like, okay, 300 million gone here, 265 million gone here, no answers on the 700 million here. That is not the way that this is supposed to work. But you know what? In a way, I blame us because we're so just taking these things.
We so conky.
We so conkish in a way. You got some regular Bahamians who busy into nothing. Yeah, okay, a little conkish. Then you got some people that can see that there's a problem and still trying to convince the rest of us all is fair. Those are the King Kongs, right? Who trying to make the rest of us think everything is okay when we could see problems because the number is telling us, hey, we got a problem. So I blame us in a way. We're very quiet. We're kind of passive people, which I said is not a net negative. I think it's good for like our individual characteristics.
You said I was the King Kongs, but now that I think of it, I was thinking who the Queen Kongs are, and my mind ran on some MPs. And then I said, let me stop.
Some King Kongs and some Queen Kongs out there. You gotta kind of like speak up a little bit more, because it ain't no way, right? Ain't no way. All the countries we visit that have some of the things that we like, that's because their people ain't just sitting on their duff, taking everything that comes their way and not telling their elected officials who work for them, by the way, this is the way that things need to be, or we have a concern with this, please answer us on this. They're not sitting on their duff. That's why they could get some improvements, but we kind of like just kind of go with the flow and it's okay. Or we've kind of taught our elected officials that that's how we're going to react, very passively. So they have absolutely zero fear of us, right?
No, they don't. And that's the problem. They need to have some fear of us. We got to get back to the phone lines. But they do need to be reminded who they work for, MJ. I totally agree. The fear factor should be the other way around. Let's get to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Hi, Naughty.
Good afternoon.
I'm calling from Grand Bahama. I'm a 74-year-old blind man who you and your wife got hooked on your show. Man,
thank you very much.
The only thing I got to complain about is I miss you putting that nice song on. Everybody wants to be your commercial when you start. You played it last 2 weeks ago, man. It was beautiful. You put me back in my good old times.
Good, my God, what song that is?
That may be Tears for Fears.
Man, that's beautiful. Everybody wants to lead the world or something like
Everyone
that.
wants to rule the world.
Producer, line that up for the break, please.
Line that up, Mr. Producer.
I commend you, man. You guys doing a great job, man. I'm a Grand Bahama native, as is the wife, and I want to say hello to MJ Special.
Thank you, Grand Bahama.
What I'm really calling about is the fact that there's so much corruption going on that you don't know where to start or where to think anymore, man. Based on what you were talking about a while ago about the leaking of the police force, some information. I don't know if you all heard it on the news yesterday, but there's another gun and drugs by an officer of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force in Grand Bahama, another officer with stripes who got busted. Ooh. You don't know where this is going to end, man. I just wanted to bring that to you.
Hey, Freeport, let me ask you this. You follow sports?
Now, as long as you're talking Dolphins, that's probably what...
All right, but listen, I want you to check out. I want you to check out the press box every Sunday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Right here on Guardian Radio, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Sunday. We getting you ready for football season.
I know, but I go to church. I come and catch a little bit of it every Sunday.
But catch the replay.
You're talking Dolphins, I can turn you off. Love you guys.
Have a good one, Freeport.
Take care, Freeport.
It's Dolphin country and Miami Heat country.
Bunch of stinkfish and shit.
Boy.
Boy, is correct. Let's get back to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Hey, good afternoon, Naughty. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ.
Good afternoon,
bro.
When last you heard about the Golden Yoke, listen, and they giving more money to it. And where you listen, I used to buy egg in a shop from the States for like $2.50 yesterday. This program really, this really has to be investigated. Because I think up to the last budget was 40 million, and then they asked for more money. I happen to go on that farm. My brother, I don't know where that money is. They prevent people from going there. If you ain't, someone that they run me off there. I go on with someone. I telling you, we have something serious going on, and monies are finding its way to wherever it needs to find. I think you all pointed that out. We have a serious issue going on. Look at the central bank report was like 1.2 billion in 1 year. That our deficit grew. That's something serious, and they're claiming with balanced budget, and they were short 307 million the last budget year. We have something serious going on, and that chicken is going to come home to roost. We're going to be paying interest. Continually paying interest. That is a significant part of our budget that could have gone to education and other things. We need to arrest this issue, and deal with this. But you know what? If the Bahamian people were satisfied and that's what they got, then that's what they got. I think you all mentioned that earlier. And so we have to live with it. Unfortunately, our children will have to live with it. Thanks for this opportunity.
Thank you, caller. We got to follow up on the golden. The last time I heard about the golden yolk, I actually got some golden yolks. Delicious eggs. They were great.
I thought
we were rolling full steam ahead. So we got to look at that again and make sure. But yeah, I'm sure we could get a response from the Minister of Agriculture.
I'll make a few calls. In fact, we need to get him on the show.
Yeah, we need to find out what's going on with the gold. I thought they'd crossed all the hurdles and finally gotten there. They were producing eggs, but it sounds like something else may be happening. Anyway, we'll definitely look into that. Thank you, caller.
All right, back to the phone lines we go. Talking Heads.
Hello.
Talking Heads.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Sparky, we can hear you.
Hey, Naughty, I don't follow sports as deeply as you all do, but how Pittsburgh Steelers look. And I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but I'm not like you and MJ and Pearlie and all you all. I don't know where they belong and what school they been doing every day. But I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. How we looking this year?
Well, I'll tell you how you can look. You have a pretty decent record in your division. You got Mike McCarthy, the former Dallas Cowboy coach, as your head coach. You ain't gonna win no playoff game. And if you need your receiver to get you 10 yards for a first down, he can run 9 yards when McCarthy tell him to run and be a yard short every lap. Anyway, let's get to the other calls. Talking Heads.
You can have fun with the Steelers this year, hey.
Let me jump back to the text lines. MJ and Naughty, y'all wait for them. They will not let us know nothing until they are not honorable anymore. They are horrible ministers. No Freedom of Information Act, no Procurement Act. They are trying to unalive the Bahamian people. They need a heart for the poor people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're trying to unalive us, but for sure, we're not getting any kind of accountability. This relationship is so inverted now. I don't understand, you know?
Do you think they know how hard it is for people out here? Naughty at MJ, the housing minister, is at it again. Sidewalks are being dug up in his constituency on St. Vincent Road, only to replace them with new ones. I smell a rat.
Sorry, say it again. Where are they being dug up?
St. Vincent Road.
Mm-hmm.
The housing minister's constituency.
Okay, so that's Carmichael then. Yeah, okay.
Sometimes when I hear this, you need to ask the minister in Carmichael where all the fill from Phil Smith Park going. I hear that's still walking out of there. I hear it's ending up in Adelaide allegedly. But anyway, maybe Mr. Bell could answer that.
We got so many questions. We got some little questions that need to be clarified. Then we got some big questions that just don't get answered, and I don't understand why. It's a lot for Bahamians to have to take in. But I tell you one thing, like I said before, there's one tax bin number. Y'all better get in front of that, because I'm telling you right now, Bahamians are not, so far, just with the brief press conference at the office of the Prime Minister yesterday, I think that's where it was. So far, the reception has not been positive, because Bahamians don't fully understand exactly what you're going to do, why you're going to do it, and what your restrictions and parameters are. What's your mission? We know efficiency. We also know the minister said leakages and compliance. Is it going to be restricted? I mean, once they can see it, and they got a powerful system. You remember we spent like $12 million on that Oracle data center. They're going to be able to see a lot. So we need to just understand what the parameters are.
Sometimes when I hear this type of leaks, I wonder if it is true. If you have a plan, how much police knew the plan before implementation?
Good question.
Just like that's the British PR firm they hired several years ago to pump up the PLP and win their second election. One bad apple can spoil the whole bunch and completely destroy morale.
Yeah.
You're lucky BEC having problems or you wouldn't see the PM until 2031. There's a reason.
No, man.
Portfolio. He's free. The buck is in India. That's where he's stopping.
I do think that the Prime Minister did miss an opportunity the other night to address a couple of other things that are kind of like outstanding issues. I mean, he didn't have to. He said it was about BPL. I don't feel like we got any new information from that press conference, but there is this question about the National Investment Fund out there. That is a lot of money, $700 million. And, you know, still the Prime Minister, neither the Minister of Finance have seen fit to talk to the Bahamian people about this money. I know Parliament is back in session towards the end of, about a month from now, towards the end of September. They're going to have to answer the questions, and I hope that the press and the public and even the opposition members in Parliament ask some very specific questions around this National Investment Fund.
You know, this whole situation reminds me of a great quote. I go into the movies, MJ.
Okay.
Batman.
Oh.
Ra's al Ghul.
Oh.
Bad boy himself.
Mm-hmm.
When corruption becomes normal, destroying the system can feel easier than saving it.
Yeah, he was an extremist. He surely was.
But when you look at the situation right now, is it easier for this administration to just go along, all buck up, go, or to actually plant their heels in the sand, put 10 toes down and say, we're going to fix this ish?
It needs to be, for sure, some things need to be fixed. But it starts with, you know, some transparency and accountability, and we haven't seen that. I saw a post the other day where someone said, you know, highlighted that this may be one of the first times where a prime minister has never fired a cabinet minister. You know, they all ain't doing a good job. Lord knows they all ain't. But there is this reticence on the part of our prime minister to admit even when someone may not be, you know, sued or may have done things that they need to go over, you know, and we've seen some things that people probably need to go over. I know that the editorials have been calling for the resignation of the Minister of Energy, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Instead, she's just been kind of very quiet, where she's extremely loud about this whole energy thing in the House. And then the Prime Minister throws a little bit of cover and says, well, the buck stops with me. Well, the buck does stop with him. And right now, Bahamians are not happy with the state of our new energy era. And nobody's bothering to answer some really important questions that'll help us understand when we're going to get out of this blackout dark phase that we're in right now.
Let me get these last two comments in real quick off the text lines. Is the Auditor General's office still functional? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Good afternoon, MJ and Naughty. Government must find a way to take the VAT off customs duty. Customs needs to go urgently down. VAT was to replace customs duty.
Well, yeah, we're supposed to take it down a bit more, but...
Now, do you think Keefe D going to jail who was involved with Tupac's murder? Is Keefe and family to... Listen, Keefe and them may go to jail for Tupac's murder. Finally, at the end of all these years, I wanted to see who killed my boy Pac. A lot of extenuating circumstances to that, but it looked like Keefe D, who was involved, is going to end up the only one left alive to take the fall, so he will take the fall. I have no idea who is family to Mr. Davis. All I know that his grandparents were subsistence farmers
in Cat Island. that was something. I still remember that all these years later.
Anyway, just like me, loving you all these years later. But it's that time. It's that time for us to get out of here. So you got anything to say before we get out of here, MJ?
No, we will be back tomorrow.
Yes, we shall. We'll be back tomorrow with another fully loaded episode of Talking Heads right here on Guardian Radio. So for MJ, for Mr. Producer, for Carlisle Bethel, our special guest earlier on, we appreciate y'all tuning in, texting in, chiming in, good stuff. We'll see y'all tomorrow right here on Talking Heads.
Hungry for some serious beef? Then get ready, because Burger King Nassau is bringing back the double quarter-pound king. That's a full half-pound of flame grilled beef, topped with melty cheese, tangy mustard, crunchy pickle, and fresh onions. Served on a toasted sesame seed bun, classic style. Big flavor, big protein, big satisfaction. Get your double quarter-pound king meal with medium fries and a drink for only $10.35. More food, less money. Only at Burger King Nassau.
The technicians at Muffler World on Mackey Street and Robinson Road can do a lot of things to make your car perform better. Like make sure the wheels are properly aligned, and that your brakes actually work, and that your car is using the correct oil and in fact has oil. Those same techs can replace your entire exhaust system. Check out Muffler World for the top of the line Walker muffler. Now if you want your ride to sound rude, Muffler World can help you there too with a system by Flowmaster. Muffler World, Mackey Street and Robinson Road. Mufflers and a whole lot more.
When you are planning for your family, every decision matters. A home can bring comfort, stability, and long-term value for the people who depend on you most. With up to 95% mortgage financing from CIBC Caribbean, eligible clients can explore a practical path to home ownership with clear information and trusted guidance. Build your family's future with confidence. Visit CIBCCaribbean.com/home ownership for more information. Conditions apply.
Who has the best quality windows and doors in the country? Find out Saturday, April the 12th, when Stormframe Windows and Doors puts theirs and others to the test. Enjoy delicious taco and save big on top brands like PGT, CGI, and Windor. With hundreds of windows and doors in stock, Stormframe